Congratulations. You just woke up in a place that makes a tomb look like a penthouse suite. You are 3,000 meters below the waves, in a place called the Midnight Zone. There is no sunlight here. There is no hope here. There is only a crushing weight of 300 atmospheres pressing down on your tiny, fragile body, trying to turn you into a biological pancake. But you are not just any fish. You are a male deep-sea anglerfish. And let me tell you, your life is not just hard. It is a cosmic joke played by an evolutionary designer who was clearly having a very rat-bad day. Look at yourself in a mirror. Oh wait, you cannot, because there is no light and you are basically a gray piece of lint with fins. You are less than an inch long. You are pathetic. You are weak. And most importantly, you are starving. Here is the first reason why being born as you is a nightmare. You do not have a functional digestive system. Think about that for a second. Most animals are born with a mouth and a stomach so they can eat and grow. Not you. Evolution decided that giving you a stomach was a waste of space. Instead, you were born with a giant pair of nostrils that take up half of your face and a liver full of oil. That oil is your only battery. It is your only fuel. You are a biological ticking time bomb. From the second you hatch, the clock is ticking. You have enough energy to swim for maybe a few weeks. If you do not find a female in that time, you do not just get a lonely heart. You die. You simply run out of gas and drift into the darkness as a tiny, forgotten snack for a passing shrimp. Imagine the stress. You are swimming in an ocean that is millions of miles wide, looking for one specific person in total darkness. It is like being dropped in the middle of the Sahara Desert at midnight and being told to find a specific grain of sand that smells like cheap perfume. And you have to do it before you starve to death. But hey, you have those giant nostrils. You are the ultimate stalker of the abyss. You are not looking for food. You are looking for pheromones. You are sniffing the water, desperate for even a single molecule of female scent. You swim forward, pumping your tiny tail, praying to a god you do not have that you are heading in the right direction. Then you see it. A light. A beautiful, glowing green orb dancing in the distance. It is mesmerizing. It is the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You think to yourself, finally, love. You push your tiny body to the limit, burning through your precious oil reserves to reach that light. You get closer and closer. You can almost taste the pheromones. But wait, something is wrong. The light is attached to a long, fleshy stalk. And behind that stalk is a mouth the size of a garage door, filled with needle-sharp teeth that are longer than your entire body. It is a gulper eel. It was not a date. It was a trap. The eel does not even see you as a meal. You are so small that you would not even get stuck in its teeth. But if you get too close, the pressure wave from its closing jaws will crush you instantly. You freak out. You pull a sharp U-turn, your tiny heart racing. You just wasted 10% of your remaining lifespan running away from a fake girlfriend. You are tired. You are getting thinner. Your body is starting to look transparent because your muscles are being digested from the inside out to keep your brain functioning. This is the reality of your existence. You are a starving, homeless, microscopic stalker in a world that wants to eat you, or worse, ignore you. You drift for days. You are almost out of oil. You are so weak that you can barely stay upright. The darkness is starting to feel heavy. You are ready to give up. You are ready to let the abyss take you. And then, it happens. A smell. It is faint, like a memory of a dream. But it is real. It is the scent of a female anglerfish. And it is strong. You turn your head. You sniff the water again. Yes, it is coming from below. You dive. You do not care about the pressure anymore. You do not care about the monsters. You follow the scent like a bloodhound. Suddenly, the darkness parts. You see her. She is magnificent. She is a monster. She is 50 times your size. She has skin like black velvet and a mouth that could swallow a basketball. To anyone else, she is a nightmare. To you, she is the most beautiful woman in the world. She is your savior. She is your only hope for a future. You approach her cautiously. She does not even know you are there. She is busy hunting a squid, her glowing lure bobbing rhythmically. You are so small that you are basically a speck of dust in her peripheral vision. You have to make your move now. If you miss, you will never have the energy to try again. You aim for her belly. You swim with every last drop of oil in your liver. You open your tiny mouth, which is filled with specialized, hooked teeth. You are not biting for food. You are biting for a permanent lease. You sink your teeth into her soft, leathery skin. You hold on for dear life. You did it. You found her. You are not going to die alone in the dark. But as you cling to her side, you start to feel a strange sensation. Your lips are tingling. Your jaw is starting to itch. You think you have reached the happy ending of your story. Oh, you poor, sweet fool. You have no idea what is about to happen to your body. You think you just got married? No. You just signed a contract for the most horrific medical procedure in the history of nature. You found her. You made the bite. But congratulations, the absolute nightmare of your existence is just beginning. As your tiny teeth lock into her cold, leathery side, a terrifying chemical reaction begins inside your mouth. Your body starts to release a highly specialized, highly acidic enzyme. This enzyme has one purpose and one purpose only. It is explicitly designed to dissolve your own face. Yes, you heard that right. You are literally melting your lips, your gums, and your jaw off just to prove your love. The skin around your mouth completely breaks down, turning into a horrific biological soup that mixes directly with the skin of the giant female. Slowly but surely, your flesh permanently fuses with hers. You are no longer just holding on like a tick. You are literally becoming a part of her body. As the days pass, your blood vessels start to grow outward, searching for hers. They finally connect. You feel a sudden, overwhelming rush of fresh, oxygenated blood coursing through your tiny veins. It is not your blood. It is her blood. You are now sharing a single circulatory system. You are officially the ultimate biological parasite, a permanent fixture attached to a mobile home. But nature is absolutely not done punishing you yet. Now that you are fully plugged into your giant wife's bloodstream, you do not need to do anything for yourself anymore. And if there is one thing nature hates in the deep sea, it is wasting energy. So, your body begins a horrifying, unstoppable process of extreme physical downsizing. First, you start to notice that your vision, which was already terrible, is completely fading away. Your eyes start to shrink. The cellular structure breaks down, and the tissue is literally reabsorbed by your own body to save energy. You are now permanently blind, staring into a darkness you can no longer even perceive. Next go your fins. You do not need to swim ever again, so your dorsal and pectoral fins simply wither away, turning into dead tissue and dropping off into the abyss. You are now just a smooth, fleshy lump attached to the side of a giant fish. Then, things get really dark from a biological standpoint. Your internal organs start to systematically shut down. You do not need a digestive system because she feeds you her nutrient-rich blood directly. So your stomach and intestines dissolve entirely. You do not need kidneys anymore. You do not even need your own heart anymore because her massive, powerful heart is pumping enough blood for the both of you. Organ by organ, piece by piece, everything that makes you an individual, living, breathing creature just melts away into nothing. Even your brain, the very center of your existence, starts to shrink significantly. You lose your thoughts, your survival instincts, your spatial awareness. You are slowly but surely being reduced to nothing more than a pair of reproductive organs with a pulse. You are a living accessory, a biological keychain dangling endlessly in the dark. You will never eat a meal again. You will never see the faint glow of a jellyfish again. You will never swim freely through the water column again. You are just a permanent, completely brainless parasite waiting in the dark abyss until the exact moment she needs you to fertilize her eggs. Imagine the sheer psychological horror of this situation, if you still had a complex enough brain to process it. You are hanging there, completely helpless in one of the most dangerous environments on the entire planet. The crushing weight of the water above you is a constant reminder of your prison. You are buried under 3,000 meters of heavy, suffocating salt water. The pressure here is over 4,000 pounds per square inch. That is the equivalent of having a full-grown African elephant standing on your thumb. But you do not feel it anymore. Your body has adapted to the horror, turning you into a gelatinous blob that is immune to being crushed, but completely vulnerable to everything else. Let us think about your siblings for a moment. When you hatched from your tiny egg, you were surrounded by thousands of brothers. All of them started the exact same horrific race against time. Where are they now? Most of them starved to death within the first 2 weeks, their tiny bodies floating down into the endless sediment like snowflakes made of absolute failure. Some were eaten by bioluminescent jellyfish, slowly digested over days while still alive, trapped in glowing tentacles. Some were swallowed whole by massive whales diving deep for a snack. But you? You survived. You were the lucky one. You won the genetic lottery. And your grand prize was self-mutilation and eternal servitude. You have absolutely no control over your destiny. If she swims into a hydrothermal vent and gets boiled alive by superheated water, you get boiled alive too. If she decides to attack a submarine and gets sliced by the propeller, you get sliced too. Let me give you a very specific, terrifying example of your new life. A few months pass. You are basically asleep, living as a mindless little speed bump on her side. The water around you is near freezing. Suddenly, a massive, explosive shockwave hits the water. A giant, deep-sea squid, a terrifying monster with massive eyes and 10 tentacles covered in razor-sharp hooks, has just ambushed your wife from the shadows. You cannot see the squid. You cannot swim away to save yourself. But because your nervous system is deeply fused with hers, you feel absolutely everything. You feel her immediate panic. You feel the violent surge of adrenaline in the blood she pumps into you. You feel her massive muscles thrashing wildly as she fights for her life. The water churns violently, tossing her massive body around. Because you are attached to her exterior, you are violently whipped back and forth, smashing into the rocky ocean floor and scraping against jagged coral beds as she wrestles the giant squid. A thick, muscular tentacle wraps tightly around her body, right over the exact spot where you are attached. The sharp, curved hooks dig deep into your soft, defenseless flesh. It is agonizing. It feels like you are being ripped apart, but you cannot scream. You do not have a mouth. You cannot bite back. You cannot even squirm out of the way. You are a helpless prisoner inside your own fused body. You just have to hang there in the dark and take the excruciating pain, silently hoping that she wins this brutal underwater wrestling match. Because if she dies, you die. Your entire existence, your whole lifespan, is now completely dependent on a giant, angry, blind fish surviving against prehistoric monsters in the most hostile environment on Earth. The fight feels like it lasts for hours. The pressure waves hit you like physical punches. Eventually, she manages to twist her massive body and bite clean through one of the squid's main tentacles with her terrifying teeth. The squid recoils in pain, releases its grip, and shoots a cloud of glowing ink before darting away into the endless black depths. Your wife survives the encounter, and purely because she survives, you survive. The adrenaline slowly, painfully fades from the shared blood flowing between you. The intense pain in your scraped flesh dulls to a constant ache. You go back to being a silent, blind, helpless passenger, drifting through the dark void. You will live exactly like this for decades, while she swims thousands of miles through the deep ocean, constantly hunting, brutally fighting, and exploring the unknown depths. You will just hang there in the pitch black. Sometimes, she will pick up another male who is just as desperate as you. He will bite her, melt his face off, and fuse to her flesh right next to you. Over the years, she might have 5, 6, or even 8 of you hanging off her belly and sides. You become part of a bizarre, grotesque collection of melted, brainless husbands, all sharing the same blood, all waiting for the same signal. This is your grand reward for winning the brutal game of deep-sea survival. You did exactly what nature and evolution wanted you to do. You fought through the darkness, you found a mate, and you successfully survived the abyss. And the ultimate prize for your evolutionary success was losing everything that made you an individual creature. Tell me honestly, after hearing all of this, would you rather starve alone in the dark abyss as an independent creature, or become a melted, blind, brainless parasite permanently attached to the side of your giant wife? Let me know your choice in the comments below. If you think losing your brain to your wife is the worst fate imaginable, just wait until you hear about the deep-sea creature that literally shoots its own jaw entirely out of its skull just to eat a meal, and risks breaking its face every single time. Do not forget to like this video, subscribe to Born to Suffer, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the absolute worst, most horrific lives in the animal kingdom. See you in the next nightmare.